modern dating is so annoying, and there's so many games that are being played, or you're being asked to play games. And a lot of the people you interact with, they're either like very unhealthy in the sense of trauma or knowing how to interact with people, or they're straight up evil, or they're like overtly clingy and obsessed. Like trying to find just like a normal person. Of course, you want them to be like a little into you, whatever. Of course, you want that chemistry. But walking into modern dating is like walking into a war zone. It's kind of ridiculous the level at which you have to protect yourself, and also the level at which the quality is just so bad. And what makes it worse is if you're just kind of like, okay, let's remove the dating apps. Let's remove like you trying to be a part of the quote unquote modern dating scene. The problem is that everyone is so integrated into the modern dating scene that it doesn't really matter. Because the person you meet on the street, at your job, wherever, your social circles, the gym, they're so used to this modern dating environment that you get thrusted into it regardless. Because let's say you meet a girl at the gym, you get her number or whatever. Let's say you get her Instagram. She's giving her Instagram to all the guys she's talking to online anyways, all the guys she's meeting on dating apps, or they're using Snapchat and things like that anyways, and finding people to talk to anyways. So they're likely already ingrained in that type of modern dating scene. So just because you meet them outside of it doesn't mean anything, because then you're going to get their Instagram, whatever, message them, and then you're just thrown into the queue with all the other guys. And I'm going to go on a rant here and touch on everything, but another thing that bothers me is the body count. Like, it's kind of crazy how people say body count doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, of course, women are going to lie about their body count. Men too. But at this point, so many people are just out here giving it up. And me personally, I'm not saying I need my partner to have 0 bodies, but I do not want the next girl I'm with to have 20, 30 plus bodies, if not more. Like, I pride myself on actually having a relatively low body count. Like, I've had the opportunity a lot, but I don't take that opportunity because I feel like the next woman I meet, I fall in love with, I marry, I don't know, I don't really want her to be like, damn, he was with 50 different women. And I know men think it's different, but I don't think so personally. Like, men think that for women it's worse than for men. But like in general, I'm just not giving my body out to everybody. So then you've got all these different issues interlinked. And then let's talk about trauma for a second. So many women, and of course all this logic applies to men too. So many women are just severely traumatized. Oh, and not only that, but just side point, so many women have kids these days. I don't have kids, you know what I mean? Like, I'm generally disciplined when it comes to that. So when you meet women who just have kids 24/7, and then now that's something you have to factor into. And also smoking and drinking. I get it. Our generation vapes. They all vape. They all smoke. Or weed has become really common. But in general, that's another thing where like trying to find somebody who doesn't smoke or drink is like pretty much damn near impossible. And again, those are things that you can kind of compromise and look over a little bit. But then the modern dating scene feels like you're just actively compromising on everything. Like, okay, she smokes and she drinks. Okay, now she has kids. And then because the modern dating scene is so evil, everyone has trust issues. Everyone has been betrayed. You got people who aren't over their ex. Like, there's all these different games being played. So everyone is on like high alert and severely traumatized. So on top of that, now you're entering this relationship that you're compromising on several levels. And then on top of that, the person has baggage and trauma. And like, I pride myself on self-improvement and being able to just generally contain myself. I'm not perfect by any means, but most of these people are just flat out traumatized, point blank, period. It's not like they're going to therapy or working on it or even aware of what's going on to them. And I spent basically a year or two studying psychology pretty deeply. I'm not an expert by any means, but sometimes I'm sitting here looking at these people, looking at the issues they have, and I can already kind of identify what's wrong with them. But the trust issues in modern dating are crazy, and I understand why they exist. But like the fact that you want me to share locations with you everywhere I go, or the fact that you see TikTok memes about not going through phones, the fact that situationships have basically become the new norm of our generation, or like I said, so many people are so messed up and traumatized. I remember I met this one girl and we were vibing pretty well, but within like a week her crazy side came out. And again, this is where I don't even like try to judge people. I just end up feeling bad because this girl had so much baggage and she had been in so many bad relationships that she couldn't really fathom the concept of just like trust and being loved and other things. So within like a week, this girl was obsessed with me while simultaneously accusing me of having kids and a whole bunch of other things, accusing me of lying about a secret life. She wanted me to sleep on call with her, share my location, like a lot of wild out-of-pocket stuff. I've had several women end up obsessed with me. And that's not even me trying to like brag, like, ooh. Like at some point it's just kind of like, damn, you're really messed up and that's why you're so obsessed with me. Like, of course I'm a factor in that, but you know what I mean. Or you meet avoidant women, the ones who want their independence and so on. And I'm generally like an avoidant guy, so in general, I love avoidant women. But it's also super obnoxious sometimes because they're so avoidant to the point that they actually sabotage like any plans, goals, building anything. Like, you can be avoidant all you want, but like we still got to go out on dates and hang out and do things. But they're the type that would be like, I'm gonna text you what you doing every 3 days, and then can you take me out once every 3 weeks? So I'm sitting here like, you don't want to build a connection, talk, or anything. You just want to get taken out on dates when you feel like it. Or then you just have the people who are emotionally chaotic. Like, I met this one girl and she had baggage and kids and other things, and I shouldn't have been entertaining her. But she asked me for my number. And in general, she was actually really cool, at least initially. So I was like, despite all your issues, I'll take you out on dates, entertain you, and so on. That's cool. And at first, she was texting me 24/7, super interested into my day, trauma dumping basically. And it was really heavy, like girlfriend energy. But I was just kind of cool with it, honestly. Then, out of nowhere, a few days later, she completely flipped on me. And of course, you could say she lost interest or whatever, there's 1,000 reasons why. But she just went super dry, texting infrequently, and so on. So I kind of brought it up in like a joking way. And she was just like, well, we're not dating and I don't owe you anything. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but you created this dynamic. Like, this girl was literally apologizing for texting me too much at one point, apologizing for being too much. And I told her, I was like, it's cool. Like, we're good. And then to turn around a few days later and be like, no, you're being too much. Whenever you went from texting me 24/7 to dry as hell, sending me 3 texts a day. And when I bring it up, I'm being too much. So I was like, okay, cool, bro. And that's another thing. I'm not trying to say that I'm an amazing 10-10 partner by any means. But so many people think that they're way above their league. Like, if you got trauma, baggage, kids, and so on, you're emotionally unstable. It doesn't matter if you're a baddie because, yeah, she was kind of a baddie. When you bring all this wild, chaotic energy around, I don't care how attractive you are, it immediately is going to drop you way down for most men from taking you at least serious. Like, yeah, you'll get men who want to crack, but nobody's going to take you serious. So I'll meet women who aren't necessarily 10-10s because I've pulled some serious baddies and I've had them fall in love with me. Like, I've had really great relationships with some very attractive women. So when I go from that to entertaining a woman who is lesser attractive, and of course it's not all looks based, I'm just saying in general. Like, if we're just assessing the marketplace, when I'm dating a 9 out of 10 and now I'm entertaining a 7 out of 10, and then the 9 out of 10 was treating me better than the 7 out of 10, and the 7 out of 10 is acting wild and out of pocket, I'm just kind of sitting here like, I really don't got to entertain this. And in my opinion, the worst part about modern dating is all the trust issues. Because a woman can easily be entertaining 5 different men at a time. And not only that, but just because they look interested. Like, this honestly is the worst part. Someone can look completely interested into you, entertain you, let you take them out, like the whole nine, just to turn around and be like, actually, I'm not really feeling it. Like, they will play the whole game with you, let you catch some form of feelings, or let you overly invest into them, just to turn around and ghost you or treat you like you were nothing. And my ex, for example, we're friends after we broke up. And my ex is low-key evil at dating and traumatized me even worse. Because I'll see her go out on dates with men over and over and over. And she don't even like these men. She just wants to go out to a nice restaurant or something. Like, she's told me several times, like, ew, he's ugly. I'm not going to let him crack. I really want to go out to this restaurant. Or like, I'm just bored today and I want to go out somewhere nice and de-stress, but like, I do not like this guy. There's men that she's been entertaining for months that she does not like just because they take her nice places. And I'm not saying all women are like this by any means, but when you don't even know the other person's real intentions, the fact that it can be so evil. The most egregious thing my ex ever did, she ended up cracking 2 different men in the same day. She went out on a date with one, cracked him, went back to his place, whatever. Then had a date planned that night, went out with that dude and cracked him too. Imagine being guy number 2 and you're kissing her after she just slurped something down a few hours ago. And then for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay single, right? But then some woman always finds her way into my life. And then I always end up letting myself get distracted because I'll be like, you know what? She's pretty, she's nice, she's cool, whatever. I like this vibe. Let's explore it. And then most of the time, that woman just ends up wasting my time. And it's like, all I did was waste my time. I wasted my money, my energy. I was probably even vulnerable with this person or let them into my world. Because in general, I'm a very low-key guy. So I know that's why women try to date me a lot. Because in my social circles, they're like, damn, who is this guy? Like, he doesn't talk, he doesn't chase, he's not like trying to get attention, he's not pursuing me. So a lot of women like that mysterious angle. So that's why they start coming on to me because they're like, this is the only guy who isn't chasing me in the room. Who is he? But then after I pull the mask off, get a little vulnerable and show them what I'm actually like. I'm not saying all women are like this by any means or all the ones I've dated. But of course, then once they figure you out, they're like, oh, okay, bye. And it's like, at that point, I gave up my frame. I gave up me being desirable for you to just figure me out like it's a game and then go on somewhere else. I don't know. My point is I absolutely hate modern dating. But I don't really have a solution. I think it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.